what is the good moral character requirement to naturalize? I'm Erick Widman, I'm an immigration lawyer, and for hundreds of years, US government has required that people wanting to become US citizens demonstrate good moral character. In fact, the first Naturalization Act, way back in 1790, required applicants to show good moral character. This characterization, though, this determination is kind of subjective. Who has good moral character? Who doesn't? It can be a gray area, it still is. But the US government, USCIS, has laid out a standard that is somewhat helpful. And essentially, you'll qualify to show good moral character if you can demonstrate that your own character meets the standard of the community that you live in. Of course, the joke is that if you're concerned about your good moral character, find a new place to live. Find a place where they have bad moral character. That is a joke, and we have better strategies that we'll get into for overcoming these bad moral character determinations. If you're concerned about it, there's other things that you can do. And one of the first things, in fact, that you must do is wait for the statutory period to pass. There is a statutory period for showing good moral character that's either 5 years or 3 years if you're married to a US citizen. And you have to show the government that at a minimum, your good moral character meets the standard of the community, you have good moral character for that period, 3 or 5 years, leading up to the date of your naturalization. So again, if you're married to a US citizen, you only need to have the statutory period of 3 years showing that you met those requirements. To make it more complex though, this statutory period is necessary but not necessarily sufficient. Necessary but not sufficient to showing good moral character. And USCIS officers are instructed to examine your character even outside of the statutory period. So that can be a little frustrating, but in our experience at our law firm, for the most part, US government, USCIS officers do a pretty good job of looking at you holistically. And they're instructed to look at the totality of the circumstances to see if that one mistake that you made, which is now 6 years in the past, at least 5 years in the past for most applicants, if the overall pattern of your life is one of good moral character, they are going to extend grace. That's the purpose of the good moral character period, to provide some flexibility and not to keep you from becoming a citizen just because you made that mistake once or twice in the past. But there's a list of factors, including how long you've lived in the US, what other criminal activity you might have been involved in, if any. Have you been paying your taxes? Have you been volunteering? And so if you do have a blemish on your record, you have a concern or conviction or something like your taxes were not paid, you'll want to overcome that bad mark with positive evidence, with positive factors that will outweigh the bad decision you had made in the past. We trust this helps. Let us know if you have any questions, and take care.